Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sport here on YouTube and Facebook. Ooh, upgrading ourselves a little bit here. Today we're going to be talking about the Sunday game between Newcastle United and Chelsea taking place at St James's Park. And well, it's been a bit of a mixed start really for Chelsea. Of course, they've got the 2 wins underneath their belt, but not a lot of the fans really satisfied, especially after the performance against Arsenal at the weekend, winning that game by 3-2 at not Old Trafford, Stamford Bridge. Of course, they would love to get a win at Old Trafford. And also for Newcastle, travelling away to Cardiff, only coming away with a 0-0 draw, despite having a player sent off and a late penalty as well, failed to be converted by a Chelsea loanee in Kennedy, who won't be playing in this game, not because he's got a ban or anything, that's not happening, but because of course loanee rules, not allowed to play against your parent club. So whether or not that will come to advantage for Chelsea, we shall wait and see, because really it's a bit of a mixed start for Chelsea at the start of the season. Arsenal win at home, a win away at Huddersfield, which was pretty much expected, but under satisfying performances, shall we say, so far?
I'd say a bit of a mixed bag. I think obviously it's going to take time, and I think a lot of people, I'm obviously going to go back on it each time, especially till like December or something, because you need to give them time. But I've said it before, the way that Chelsea appointed the manager this season hasn't helped the integration of the new tactics. It's not like he's coming in and he's using the same system as the last manager. The new players, new system, new ideas. So it is going to take time, and for us getting the 2 wins is big, obviously. But I still think that there's a lot of room for improvement, and obviously, Eden Hazard coming on for the last 20 minutes showed that we still need him in the team. So until that August 31st deadline, we can't afford to lose him either.
Yeah. Do you think Hazard will probably start in this game? Because I think enough time has passed now that if a bid was to come in for him, then it would have came in by now from Real Madrid or Barcelona, whoever wanted to buy him, and because their season's starting up soon, they don't want to integrate a player too late into their season. Otherwise, it's going to cause a couple of problems for them there. Do you think Hazard now has earned himself a starting place in Chelsea's squad moving forward? And who do you think is going to drop out of that position? Because it's kind of tough, really. Think about it. Pedro's doing well. Morata got a goal at the weekend, despite the criticism against him. And Williams, still feels like he could potentially leave at any point. So do you think it's William that drops out?
I think it probably is at this moment in time, simply because of the fact that how well Pedro started the season. He played well in pre-season.
2 goals in 2 games.
Yeah, and he's he's done well starting the actual Premier League year. So I think he needs to stay in the team. I think if you take Morata out now, his confidence is going to be as low as before. The whole point of Morata starting at the minute, as much as Giroud probably is a better player at this moment in time, and going away to Newcastle, you think maybe Giroud is probably the best option. But if you take Morata out of that team, his confidence is going to get worse, and we can't afford that at this moment in time. We need Morata back to his best. I always think of when he first joined last year, that game against Stoke away, where he just took control of the whole game. He was an absolute beast in that game, and we need that. We need that Alvaro Morata. He's gone missing for the last 12 months, really. So he if we take him out of the team, his confidence is going to go. So Eden Hazard, I think, has had enough time now since coming back from his holiday. He's had time to integrate into the team. Obviously, the transfer rumours have been going around, but hopefully he's committed now for this year. I think Chelsea fans are obviously resigning themselves to the fact that they probably will lose him next year. I think that's a given. But just to have him for one more year, to maybe find a decent replacement for next summer, it is important to us. So I think him starting against Newcastle is a given. And someone like Willian will lose out. I think Kovacic, when he came on the other day as well, he really impressed. 100% pass success. For the 20 minutes he was on the pitch. So he was important as well. Fabregas is still injured as well. So Jorginho didn't play well in the Community Shield, but the first 2 games in the Premier League he started well as well. So there's a lot of picks for the new man Sarri to choose from.
And for Newcastle, it's been a bit of a disappointing start after a strong performance against Tottenham. Really, they only lost by 2-1, going away against Cardiff away from home and only managing a 0-0 draw despite a late penalty as well. Rafa Benitez must be really kicking himself to, not at least start the season with 4 points, and instead they've only got the 1, when arguably they should have had the 3 with the late penalty there. But over the years, St James's Park has been a difficult place for teams to go to, especially for Chelsea. I think they haven't picked up a win there since 2011, which is quite some time ago now, 7 years ago almost, December 2011, so almost 7 years ago. Do you think Newcastle's a bit of a bogey team then for Chelsea, really, away from home at St James's Park? Like, the atmosphere is not really like a lot of other Premier League stadiums outside the top six, really. You know, you don't really get another stadium that is as grand as it is St James's Park.
Yeah, St James's Park is I wouldn't say Newcastle are a bogey team, but I'd say going to Newcastle is always tough for any team. I think, like you said, the way St James's Park is built, the way the fans are so passionate, that they are probably one of the best fans in the country at trying to push their team, and they can always go against it as well. Yeah. So there's always the possibility of it not going Newcastle's way in that sense. But I think it's a tough one. I mean, just look at the way we ended last season. We lost 3-0 to them at St James's Park, and we were poor. I know it was the last game for Conte in the Premier League, but that wasn't a great way to end the season. So I think it is going to be difficult for Chelsea, especially under the new man in Sarri, still trying to integrate that team, and it's not at home, and I think Newcastle could give us a real struggle in this match.
Yeah, just had a look then, and Chelsea have only picked up 1 point in the last 5 visits to Newcastle, which isn't entirely that great at all.
Looking good.
So looking ahead to this Sunday, Newcastle versus Chelsea at St James's Park. What do we think the game's going to be? What we think in scoreline potentially? Have Newcastle got enough to handle against Chelsea with the form that they've had previous games against Chelsea, or is this Chelsea squad under Sarri, a newfound freshness that the Blues need in order to pick up a result from St James's for the first time in 7 years?
I think it's going to be a difficult match. I think it's going to be a close one as well. I see it being 1-1 until the very last minutes, maybe the last 10 minutes of the game, and we might nick a 2-1. I think it'll be one of them games. It'll be a close battle. Newcastle might score first and get the crowd going. And then it's whether you can maybe do a counter attack or try and progress. Eden Hazard's always there with the tricks. If he's on form, any defence could struggle with that. And so I think we'll win, but it'll be a struggle. So I think 2-1 just about.
Yeah, I have to agree with you as well. I think 2-1's a fair scoreline. Especially the way that Newcastle played against Tottenham in the opening game. 2 kind of similar teams, Tottenham and Chelsea, in terms of squad depth and the quality players that they've got. You've got your Hazard to Kane in terms of goal scoring quality and attacking threat. Pedro has been absolutely fantastic in front of goal so far this season. So there's plenty of options for Chelsea to try and score.
But I think if we win that game, I think it looks bad on Newcastle. They haven't got any points because they have played well. So if we do go on to win that, and that's no points in the first 3 games, I think that's a bit unlucky for them because I think they have deserved more.
Yeah, and I don't think that's either Rafa Benitez's fault either. I think sometimes, with some of the players that they bring into Newcastle, they're just not up that upper echelon, and in terms of the targets that Newcastle have had in their history, European targets at one point playing in the Champions League. I also
think it's one of them teams that if you're a player, you need to hit the ground running because Newcastle fans, don't give you much time, and unless you perform straight away, maybe the first 5 games, and after that, you start playing these poor passes and that, they just lose interest with you. So as a Newcastle player, you really need to hit the ground running.
You certainly do. Well, we think that Chelsea are going to get themselves a win at St James's Park this Sunday. Jack's got his fingers crossed as a Chelsea fan. But what are your own predictions for the game? Let us know in the comments section below this video. Don't forget to like it, subscribe for more Let's Talk Sport content, and we shall see you all very soon.